Who's responsible for cheating? That is a big question. If you've yet to subscribe, you want to do that because we have so much on infidelity and partner betrayal trauma. You're going to want those resources. If you have a question, put it in the box. Who's responsible for cheating? Now, I'm Dr. Doug Weiss, and for the last 40 years, I have helped couples who experience infidelity from sexual relationships outside their marriage, infidelity with the pornography issues, people getting involved in those kind of situations. Also, the type of infidelity that comes from being married to yourself, called intimacy anorexia, where you starve the other person of spiritual, emotional intimacy. All of those are forms of being unfaithful towards somebody, okay, or with somebody. So who's responsible? A lot of times people will come in, do a 5-day intensive, and part of the journey is giving responsibility. And it's not uncommon for maybe, let's use the wife, the husband cheated as our example. It goes both ways. We have a DVD called The Betrayed Man, so we understand it goes both ways. Before our conversation, he cheated with another person, so let's say several people, 5 people. And she comes in, and she is mad at the other women who made themselves available, who threw themselves at him. They wanted his money or whatever, okay? And so she's aligning responsibility with the other women. And that can make sense in that she doesn't want him to be responsible because she's going to try to love him. And this way he's a victim. However, it's not true. And my history of 40 years tells me if you believe something that's not true, you can't heal properly. Okay? Sometimes in a situation exactly like that, he will come in and he will literally blame his wife. You don't do this, you don't do that. I was mad at you, I was hurt. I was drunk, whatever. He will blame her for why he cheated. Now again, he can't heal if she's the one making him cheat. And I've never really met a woman who said, let me see if I understand. I have the power to make you cheat, and I used it to make you cheat instead of making you be faithful to me. Most guys can't get an answer for that, but it's early in recovery. It's usually Monday, and they're still trying to work through their own grief and loss of who they are. The real truth is 100% of cheating is the responsibility of the cheater. I have a book called Addicted to Adultery, and I go through this whole process. It's a great book. There's lots of information in there, but it's really important that there can be influences, and I totally understand that. I'm a psychologist. I'm the president of the American Association for Sex Addiction Therapy. I train counselors around the world. I understand there's influences. Family of origin can be an influence. I've had a guy whose first sexual encounter, their dad took him to a brothel, okay? Or introduced them to an older woman to have sex with them, to initiate the process. I've had dads give their sons pornography and get them fully addicted. Okay, those are all influences. Sexual abuse is an influence. Pornography addiction is an influence. Okay, drug addiction can be an influence. All low self-esteem could be an influence. There's lots of things that could be influences. List them all here, but here's choice. And so we're still responsible regardless of the influences. Now, as a counselor, I want to help heal this part so that there's less influences pressuring that decision. Okay, but the full responsibility still rests with the person, even if they are a sex addict. I've been sober for 40 years. I've never cheated on my spouse. Okay, you don't have to be cheating. But if you do cheat, the only way to heal is to be 100% responsible. Now, let me tell you why before you get into all this kind of guilt and shame and weird stuff and turn me off. Because for thousands of people, I had to tell them, when you are the problem, you are the solution. 100%. So when you do recovery, you do your work, maybe you're taking a polygraph to verify you're not lying or you're not seeking new people. Whatever you do in your adventure to heal, you get credit for, okay? Now, I'm not saying that there might be marriage issues, but those are influences. Marriage issues are influences. They are not cause. Because everyone has bad days in their marriage. And when you do, you don't go cheat as a response to that. So immaturity can be over there. We can go on and on and on about the influences. But to heal, you have to be responsible. So if you're in a situation and someone's blaming you for cheating, know in your heart that they're lying to you and they're lying to themselves. Maybe they don't want to see how dark they are. Maybe they don't want to see how they've abandoned you. They don't want to see how fickle and emotional and immature they are, how weak they are at that moment. They want to see themselves as good and successful, but it doesn't match up. They want to see themselves as protectors, but they didn't protect. So sometimes it's a process of them getting out of that spot. But it's important, if you are the person who was cheated on, that you don't move to the other two places. Because there is partner betrayal trauma. We have a book, DVD on that, lots of research in that material about the PTSD symptoms, the depression, self-esteem. The impact is global on everyone. So you will have to take responsibility for your healing. Okay, they can't heal you. They're the ones who shot you. Best to get into a group, best to get some counseling, get some of these materials that are on our website at drdougweiss.com. And you can get these materials and you can start to help yourself heal or get into counseling, get a coach, whatever you need to do. I hope this has been helpful because so many times people have a lack of clarity on who's responsible when there's cheating. The same conversation goes if they're withholding love from you. If they're intimacy anorexic, it's 100% their choice. If they're in the porn addiction, it's 100% their choice. Whatever form the betrayal comes in, the person who's doing the betraying is the one responsible. The person who was betrayed is 100% responsible to heal themselves and not look for him or some magic other thing to heal them. It's work. You got to take the bullets out and you begin to become yourself again. Because I know if you're watching this and you've been betrayed, you're hurting. So please reach out. We do 5-day intensives. We have neuromodulation available in the building. There's things that you can do to heal rapidly. And I would strongly encourage you, time is not a healer of betrayal. You can call the Counseling Center, 719-278-3708. Of course, you can always reach us by the website. And I would say, if you haven't subscribed, please do. We have so many videos related to this topic. It can really be helpful to get accurate information. Also, if you've got a question, put it in the box. And make the next right choice for yourself.